uh, when we are coming to Earth, there are two very important things that we decide. One is how much karma do we offload this time when we take this trip to Earth. And the second most important thing is that what are the lessons that we have to learn? And lessons can be like major lessons and minor lessons. So it's not just that one or two lessons, there are a whole lot of lessons that we come to learn. But so many of them are so minor that we don't even, like, saying no, like, getting just some people, it is so difficult to say no. I think this is a very minor lesson. It's not a major lesson, even though it has a major impact on life. So, yeah, that is the whole reason we come here and have these soul contracts. And the reason we have major contracts, whatever, wherever, with whomever we have major contracts, it creates a lot of disharmony in life. And this disharmony is what pushes us to learn all these lessons that we are here to learn. If a lot of people just come and say that this person, I'm so much in love with him, and he just understands me, even though we keep fighting all the time, but we are so good together. Why is it that I could not marry him, or why is it that we could not be? So there are these contracts as well, which are like not where you learn your lessons, but from where you get your support. These are contracts with our soulmates. So a lot of people are struggling with this, and even though this is not a very important soul contract that I wanted to talk about in this talk, but I feel because a lot of people are struggling with it, it's very important to understand this soul contract. So we have lived in many lifetimes with many different partners, right? So with some partners, we have learned so many different lessons together, and we sync so well with them. But a lot of times we kind of decide to incarnate on earth at the same time, and we need that extra support, that safe place. It could be your best friend, or it could be a ex of yours, or even a child. Even your child can be your soulmate, or anyone can be your soulmate. But you will always see that your soulmates are not in immediately right in your space. They always stay away from your space. That is because you need to really learn your lessons, and whenever you need support, they are always there for you to kind of get back to, right? So that is one kind of a thing, and then the question is, how do we deal with contracts? What do we do, because most of the time when we are stuck in a contract, we feel like victims. We don't know what to do, how to get out of it. So the very first thing we need to do is understand the contract. And the best thing is to write down, what is this person or place or business or whatever your contract is with, what does this make you feel like, uh, write down all your feelings and see which is the feeling that repeats again and again and again, and then see what is the opposite of that feeling, and that is the lesson that it is trying to teach you. So that is the best way to deal with it. But then it's not that you have to just learn that and then stick to that. You don't have to do that. If it is karmic, it can be really very difficult, because karmic lessons, it's very difficult to break free from a karmic lesson. But if it is just a a contract that is based on learning lessons, simply just learning lessons, then those are easier. Say you are with this one person who is making you feel a certain way, and it could be a husband or a wife or a friend or a partner, business associate, or whatever. But you decide that I've had enough and I'm not going to deal with this anymore, and you just leave. You leave that relationship, but do you think it's going to get over there? It's not, because it's going to follow you wherever you go. If not this person, then someone else. So someone or the other will keep coming into your life to teach you that very same lesson. Well, I'm not saying that you should not run away from it, but mostly when it is partners, then what I say is just if you want to break up and then give yourself that 1 or 2 years to learn your lessons so that once you learn them, you start attracting a better partner. Don't just get out of one mess and jump into another. I've seen a lot of people doing that. So that's a very bad idea. And when it comes to karmic lessons, so karmic lessons are, lessons where you have to give and take and plus learn the lesson. It is something that you've created karma with this soul in maybe one or multiple lifetimes. But what happens is that we start creating resentment, anger, and all those things. And this feeling of unforgiveness can actually bring you back to the same person lifetime after lifetime and make you feel miserable again and again and again. So, the best thing to do in such a situation is that you should start forgiving from the heart, and it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy, but the more you do it, the better it gets. And you have to tell yourself that, see, if you want to get rid of this person, then that is the only way out. If not for the other person, but for your own well-being, you need to just work it out and get over it. But learning that lesson, so there are not just that forgiveness, but also learning the lesson is very important, because, as I said, if you don't learn your lesson and if you have forgiven this person completely, then this person might be out of your life in this lifetime, or if you choose to stay together, then of course he'll be out. But the problem is not over, right? The problem is the lesson also. So simultaneously, the lesson also must be learned. In a karmic situation, it is really very difficult. It takes time and it takes patience, and maybe it is just trying to teach you patience. Who knows? So yeah, that, and then yes, we did quitting. You are subconsciously aware of all your lessons, which is true. So because we have made all these we have taken all these decisions before we have come, so we are consciously very aware of all these things. And not just at the subconscious level, but if we have karmic relationships, we are super consciously aware of it, because all our past life files in our superconscious brain have all the data connected to this. So basically you have to break the circle that you're going in. The pattern has to break. If we don't break the pattern, we will not learn our lesson. So you have to also look into it, that which is the pattern that I keep following over and over and over with one person or with many people. So that is a question. There's a lot of questions we need to ask ourselves, and this is one of the very important questions that we need to ask ourselves. And yeah, and we have like major lessons and minor lessons, and we have people who come into our life at different timelines. So it's not that just that, we come and we meet one person and we learn our lesson, but throughout our life, from time to time, a lot of people come in, and especially friends, in the form of friends. I've heard a lot of people say that, this happened and then I lost all my friends. They were meant to go. They came, they taught you what they wanted to teach you, and then you move on, and then you make new friends. And the ones who are really true, your soul connection will always stay with you. So there, you can never like get rid of them. Oh,
Nilu,
yes. Sorry.
when you mentioned soulmates earlier, right? So
Yeah.
we can have more than one soulmate.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
we can have more than one soulmate, and they might come at different timelines in our life as well. But most of the time, soulmates always come when we need them the most. when we are really down and we are really like feel beaten from all the sides and misunderstood, and they just come to lift our spirit up. um, a lot of times people feel that if I just drop my life that I'm living and go and start living with the soulmate, my life will become so good and things will get better. But that's not how it works, because once you drop your life and go and start living with the soulmate, your relationship will change. When you're having a relationship with someone far away, because they're there just to teach that lesson, you cannot, once you start living with your soulmate, you start building karma. You don't start learning lessons. So your lesson stops, and your growth stops. So, and karmic calculation begins. So that is,
Neelu, can I
yeah.
interrupt? Sorry. Soulmate,
Yes,
does it mean only a male or a female partner, or it can be a good friend also a soulmate?
yes, friends, partners, business partners, neighbors. It can be anyone. It can be anyone.
So
Yeah,
that
Anyone who,
moment
soulmate
they'll,
can come in any form. It can be a house help also sometimes.
yes,
yes. So
yes,
basically, so any help comes, so we can, it's not always we have to live with them, but good. There is a point there. Soulmate can
yeah,
be anybody, anywhere. Yeah.
yes.
Thanks, Neelu. It's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Nilu,
you.
thank you. Really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
One quick
So,
I
question,
love the
Neelu.
way you're explaining.
Can
Very
I?
nicely. Very nicely. Very nicely.
Me,
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, hi. So, Neelu, I just wanted to ask you. You said that you could forgive the person, but if you have not learned the lesson, then you have not healed the relationship. So, how do we know that we have learned?
no, you have healed a relationship if you have completely forgiven the person. But
Okay.
the reason the person had come into your life in this life or a past life, the lesson has to be learned. So even if you forgive that person and he's out of your life
Right.
or she's out of your life, someone else will pop up with the same drama.
Right. So you
Neelu,
mean to
one
say
minute.
that if we have repeated patterns, then we need to understand that we have not learned the lesson. That's what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes, yes, that's exactly what I'm
Okay.
saying. Yes.
Okay.
So, so there are two.
Neelu, one minute. Neelu, one question. Is
Yes.
it possible that we are able to forgive that person? Is it easy, like as you say, or
It's
just we get over it over time?
uh, it's not easy. You have to work towards it, and getting over it is okay. But have you?
What would be the like? Is there any way that you can tell us,
So
how
there is,
to get over
yes.
it?
So there is this exercise that we do. It's called the crystal ball exercise, where you just imagine, uh, it. Think about an incident where you have the incident that hurt you the most, and you just close your eyes and just imagine a ball of light in front of you. And suppose this incident happened to you when you were 15 years old, and you bring the 15-year-old you into this ball, and whoever this person who hurt you was, whatever age this person was, bring that person at that age into this ball. And then whatever you could not say at that time when you were hurt, you could not stand for yourself or you could not express yourself, bring this person into, basically recreate the drama and just say it
Okay.
all out. And in this space we are also allowed to kind of, if you feel like just boxing that person or abusing or whatever, the whole purpose of this meditation is to release all your anger. And it's very interesting that the more you do it, you keep repeating it, and one day you're just going to call this person and you're going to say, I don't care anymore. And when you feel that way, it's really healed and it does not bother you anymore, because you're so tired of telling this person what he did. It's something.
Because until it is healed, that pain is always there inside.
Yes,
Though we
but
act normal, we move on with life, but that thing is like eating us from inside. Something.
so uh, there are two ways to deal with soul contracts. Okay, one is to just face them the way they come and just learn them the way you normally learn them. or the second way is to take charge, and see it from the out of the box kind of eagle's eye view, and see what is it that why is this person in your space, what is it making you feel, how do you want to really feel about it, do you want to stay it, do you basically ask yourself a lot of questions. That way you are sitting on the driver's seat and trying to learn your lessons with complete control in your hands. Because but you don't have to control the other person, you have to control the lessons that you have to learn, right? Either one, if you're flowing with going with the flow is going to take you wherever, and maybe that is not where you want to go, right? When you just basically, this is what we do all the time when we are in a contract, we just keep reacting to it, we don't think, we don't act, we react. So what we have to do is we have to stop reacting, just understand the whole situation, understand the whole contract, and from your higher self, through your higher self, you start playing it out, the way you want to play it out to heal yourself. So these are two ways you can deal with the contract. So another thing is, people, they say that, okay, this person did this to me, that person did that to me, and this person is making me feel unloved or rejected or this or that. But the truth is that they are not doing it, because we don't live outside. Like, we don't live outside in, we live inside out. So whatever is within us is the drama that we are going to create around us. So whatever weakness we are carrying within our heart is what is going to manifest around us, so that we get rid of that weakness. So the best thing is to stop blaming people for whatever is happening in our life. I know that's a very difficult thing to do, but if you want to grow in your life, or you want to learn your lessons, you want to become a very strong person, a complete person, not a rigid person. A lot of people, they just become too rigid and they become insensitive. That is not what we want to be. We want to remain compassionate, and we want to remain open. We want to remain open to love or in friendship, or wherever, whatever ways we have been betrayed. We don't want to shut it all out. We want to remain open, but at the same time, we want to heal ourselves in a way that every relationship that we have becomes a very beautiful one. And if we start feeling supported, the thing is, when you're having relationships where there are lessons involved, maybe you're growing spiritually, but in this world you will see that you're not growing. You feel there are obstructions in every path that you're taking. But once you've learned your lessons, then every person who comes into your life pushes you higher, kind of helps you to grow and become more successful, whether it is in love, or it is in worthiness, or it is in financial success, or whatever kind of success that you're seeking. Health wise, contracts, karmic contracts can really ruin a person's health. So, health wise, especially health wise, mental health, physical health, emotional health. So, learning contracts is very important for all kinds of health. That is very important. Now, I want to just talk about what is it, whatever your lessons are, and what is it that creates. If your lesson is to learn to speak up, then you will always attract a very dominating person in your life, because as long as you are with loving, kind people, you will never feel the need to really push yourself to just come out and say enough, right? So if you are dominated by someone, and then you do feel so suffocated that you have to come out and finally act on it. And then if someone is trying to learn bravery, uh, self-worth, generally bravery is all connected to self-worth, because then they attract people who are very abusive. They could be verbally abusive, or they could be physically abusive. So yeah. And then people, there are a lot of people who are so harmless and they just flow with life. They don't plan their life, they don't even think about their future, what they want to be, what they want to do. They just go with the life. and they're like too laid back. So they are the ones who attract partners who are very controlling, because they are the ones who make all the decisions for them. And then when they start, when people start thinking, okay, this is not what I want. I mean, I've lived so many years, and because when you're living uh, and doing things that you don't want to do, which someone else wants you to do, it is going to lead you to a whole lot of unhappiness. So, so this person is actually not just controlling you, but teaching you to stand up for yourself and make a plan, have a plan, find a direction, figure out what is it that you want to do in life, what makes you happy. So they're actually, we might call them more dominating, abusive, controlling, but they're all just there to help you. So we've all gone through it. We all can actually connect with it, right? So there are no bad people actually. It is just as long as we learn all our lessons, we are going to come across only good people after we learn all our lessons. So it is actually depends on us what we do with our life. Yeah, so what is the solution to this? Now, there are two ways that you can work out uh, this whole mess. One is consciously, okay, and the other is subconsciously. So, consciously, you can sit and write down, think about the person and think about an incident that happened, and just write down how it made you feel. And maybe you would like to, as I said, just to like if it made you feel suffocated, then you have to download I Speak Up. So you just start repeating this. What happens is the more you repeat, the more it becomes a reality in your life. This is a way to consciously change it. The more you repeat it, the more it registers in your mind, and the more you start acting on it. And then there's another subconscious way. That is what we are planning to do on the 25th, right? Is it 25th, Deepti?
Yeah, 25th January.
Okay, so in that way, there is a certain meditation. And we do this certain meditation where we go from conscious to subconscious mind and connect with the universe and go within and go into a certain space in our mind and then try to receive the answers from the universe, and where the universe actually helps us. So it's very interesting, the soul contract is, it's one of my favorite things, that because there's a lot of things we think consciously that this is what I feel and this is what I feel this person feels. But when you actually are reading a soul contract, you read it from both the sides. It could be with your company or with the house that you live in. If you're attracting only unwanted, experiences in the house you live, or in your company that you work in, or any person in your life, and you just put them in one side and yourself on the other side, and the creator shows you both the perspective. First he will show you this person's perspective about the whole thing, and then he will show you the other person's perspective about the whole thing. And when you see both the perspectives, it's like an aha moment, and you say, okay, this is how it is, and then it is very, and then we ask the creator to kind of, we ask the universe, the creator, God, whatever you want to call it, to help us change the blueprint of our life. So when we were planning to come to earth, we made a whole blueprint of our life, that this is how I'm going to learn my lesson. But after we landed up here and we say, oh God, what the hell did I do? This is not how I want to learn it. So then it's not that we can't change it, we can change it. And so that is what we're going to teach in this whole thing, But if you don't want to, I mean, it would be wonderful if you do that. But if you don't want to do that also, consciously through your conscious mind, you can kind of just keep repeating what you want to learn, and the universe will listen to you. So, yeah, you can choose to cancel the contract and learn your lesson. Yeah, that's about it. So, if anyone has questions, I'm really open to it.
So, Nilu, nothing happens, nothing is an incident or an accident. Everything has been planned by us.
Yes. Yes,
I
most
have,
of, yeah.
okay, I have a question.
Yes.
You said you can choose to cancel the contract. I'm a little confused here. How can we just cancel the contracts that we have written?
But we are the co-creators of our life, right? It's a decision we make. It has to do with our life. So we
Okay.
have all the right to make the decision, right? If there is one relationship which is just causing nothing but pain, why will I want to stick to that? Why not just learn my lessons and move out of it, right?
All right.
Or if you want to stay in it, which is okay, because most of the time, if it is a karmic relationship, it might be very difficult to get out of it. But while you're staying in it, just heal all the parts of yourself that are being
Okay.
triggered by this relationship.
Okay, like causing mental pain or maybe physical alignments or maybe something that's causing differences. So heal that part.
Yes, heal that part and heal yourself. Don't try to heal the other person.
No,
A lot of,
no,
yeah,
that I don't do. I do
yes.
myself only. I'm a healer as well. So,
Okay, that's wonderful.
but I do
Yeah,
light healing. Mhm.
yeah, so basically, we have to go and remove that void that is inside us. It could be a big void or a small void, but a void is a void. So we just have to heal that void and feel complete in our own essence.
I have a question too. So
Yeah.
when we have met our soulmate, is there any feeling that we get? Like, how do we know that that is the person?
You just feel very much aligned to the person. Like you don't have problems there. You just understand and get each other. You feel happy with each other.
All right. Thank you.
Um,
That
Like
one more
how,
question.
yes,
like how,
please.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, because okay, initially we'll have a feeling of absolutely no problem and anything, but later on when we start to have the problems, then we realize like that's not the correct soulmate or something like that. Because initially everything seems to be fine in, I think, all the relationships, right?
No, we actually don't. We see what we want to see in relationships. We don't see that. See, if the relationship is not good, there are a lot of signs. But if you observe them. But if you are just operating from your heart, a heart is not judgment. Heart is not judgmental. So we just switch off that part of ourselves where we become alert to see how you feel. But there are subtle things that are here and there which we refuse to see because we are so blindly in love at that time, or we are enjoying the friendship or whatever, or we just say chal jane do, just forget about it, it's okay, it's not a big
Is it our is it our insecurities or older pains that makes us unhappy with in all relationships? Does that happen? Like if we are actually we have so many wounds or things to be healed inside us, or we are negative, you know. So see, does that, like, I think you already said that that's what we give out outside, right? That
yes,
also can be the problem, right? So the problem is with us at times,
yes,
isn't it?
yeah, but we don't have to judge ourselves. Most of the times we have a problem with us because we don't love ourselves enough, and we
Yeah,
don't feel worthy enough. So
exactly.
because all that lack of love is what is creating the volume, so we look for it outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so that vacuum is created by giving people everything. Whatever you do for other people whom you love, ask yourself, do you even do half of that for yourself? So
Nobody
we,
does that.
yeah,
Nobody
so
does
we
that.
Yes.
always put yourself in the end. So I think it's good to start thinking about yourself as well.
How can we create that self love in us?
It's a muscle that needs to be built. You can't wake up and everything is okay. On a daily basis, you have to be very aware of your thoughts. If you're when you're thinking something negative about yourself, you have to stop yourself then and there and stand for yourself. So that is how it starts. It may sound very easy, but it's the most difficult thing
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could I ask?
But
Hi, may I, Nilu? Hi, this is Madhu.
hi.
Nilu, how do you really differentiate a soul contract from a solid karmic equation? Let me give you an example. There is this mother who has a parasitic child. The mother is really old and exhausted, and the child just takes and takes and takes from the mom. And the mom is helpless. She understands that she hasn't trained her child who's now nearing 50 and is still a parasite. Now, how does she go about this, and what possible lessons can the mom and the child learn from the situation? Is this a soul contract or just a karmic equation?
It is a very karmic contract, and because she needs to learn how to say no and where to say no, when to say no, and not feel guilty about it. You know,
Ah,
a lot of time guilt is what keeps us to do things we don't want to do. And and then she should know that she's 50 and she needs to also take care of herself, right?
she's 80 plus. Sorry, she's 80 plus. The child is 50.
Oh wow. So I think it's
Yeah.
time that she needs to just take care of herself, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
time when you say that I have done enough and I can't do anymore.
Right.
So it's very difficult, and that is when you have to. Your lesson is to overcome guilt, right? A lesson is
Mm,
clearly to overcome guilt and say no. A lot of
right.
people keep doing things and let people drain them of their energy, of the money, of everything because they feel guilty to say no.
Mm,
So if
mm,
she doesn't learn this lesson now, then she has to take another lifetime to learn that lesson.
exactly. Yeah. Right.
Navina has
Thank
a
you.
question.
Thanks so much, Nilu.
Could I ask
Navina,
something?
one second.
Please.
Navina has a question. She's raised her hand sometime.
Yes.
Yeah, Navina.
Yeah, thank you, Deepti. Yeah. So, hi, Neelu. This is Navina here. And
Hi.
I wanted to ask that first of all, this basic question actually, I was a little confused of what exactly is a soul contract. This is my first question. And
Mhm.
secondly, that if what lessons, like if you're not able to identify what lessons are we supposed to learn from a particular contract, or then how to identify that lesson.
Okay. So the first question is, what is a soul contract? A
Yeah.
soul contract is that you have met someone on the other side or you have spoken to their higher self. We could have soul contracts with people who are already on earth and while we are on the other side. Or both of us were there when we made that decision. So, yeah, what are soul contracts? Soul contracts are when there is a give and take in a relationship, that I'm going to do this for you and you do this for me.
Okay.
You're telling the soul that please do this to me so I can learn this. And in return, this is what I'm going to do, and so that you can learn this. You know,
Okay.
if a person is very good in taking advantage of other people, might have a soul contract with someone who doesn't know how to protect themselves, and both of them come together on earth. One person learns how to stand for themselves, while the other person learns how to respect the boundaries of others' free will. So this is how soul contract works.
So
If
basic.
there's someone who's very weak emotionally, and but is not loved unconditionally, so unconditionally that the other person is taking advantage of it,
Mhm.
and has no compassion. So this person will learn compassion by that person, standing up and saying that no, I can't do it anymore. So both the parties have to learn something from each other. That is a soul contract. And
Okay.
how to identify, right?
Yeah.
And as I said, the question you have to ask yourself is, what is this relationship making me feel? How do I feel in this relationship? Do I feel, we all need to feel worthy, we need to feel loved, we need to feel accepted the way we are, we need to
Right.
feel supported. So all these are the feelings that we want to feel, right?
Right. Right.
Is that relationship making you feel all that? If it is
Yeah.
not, then all those
Yeah.
are the lessons that you need to learn.
Okay. So
So
if suppose like if I am not feeling worthy or not accepted by my partner currently. So what is the lesson that I need to learn, or how will I make that?
So the question you ask yourself is, do I accept myself the way I am? Have I been able to accept myself? Or do I feel self-worth? Do I feel worthy about my own self? Because whatever is, everybody is a mirror, you know. So whatever you're feeling from there is what you're lacking within you, right? So the day you start feeling all these things for yourself, people will identify that and treat you accordingly.
Okay. And if I say that I do feel that way, and if I try to stand up for myself and say, no, this is like being assertive and try to be assertive and say for myself that this is how what I love and this is what I want you to accept me as a person, and the other person still doesn't, accept it and probably brand you or blame you, tell you that you're an arrogant person or something like that.
Yeah, I have realized that, you know, there's no point in telling anyone anything.
Yeah.
The best thing is start operating from that space.
Okay.
You start operating from that space, and the more you operate from that space, there will be a lot of disruption. Today, if somebody is used to treating you in however, you know, and tomorrow suddenly you get up and have a personality, this person is not going to accept it quietly.
Right.
So initially there will be disruption, but that's okay. That is a sign that you're actually starting to learn your lesson.
Right.
Never get scared of disruption.
Yeah.
Never.
Right.
So,
Right.
okay, Preet.
Right.
Preet had a question.
It's like soul. So soul contracts, basically we attract a personality to teach a lesson mutually. That is what a soul contract is.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
so
the lessons are different, but we
Yeah,
do
but-
teach each other. Yes.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Neelu. It was wonderful.
नीलू सडनली हस्बैंड की डेथ हो जाना ये भी क्या सोल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है?
हाँ, ये सोल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, बिकॉज मे बी यू नो साथ वहीं तक का ही था, और ये प्री डिसाइड होता है कि पहले ही डिसाइड होता है कि बिफोर यू कम टू अर्थ यू हैव डिसाइडेड कि वी बोथ विल मीट, हम दोनों की लाइफ साथ में होगी, और इतने टाइम के बाद आई विल लीव, सो दैट यू नो, एंड इट इज ऑल प्री डिसाइडेड.
नहीं तो पास्ट कर्मा कोई होता है बैड कर्मा उसकी वजह से?
नहीं 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 नहीं, कोई बैड कर्मा नहीं होता है. दिस इज यू नो, बहुत बार जब हम वहां पे होते हैं ऊपर तो हमको लगता है हाँ ये सब हम हैंडल कर लेंगे, लेकिन जब हम यहाँ पे आते हैं व्हेन वी आर ऑन अर्थ, तो जो भी हमने पहले डिसाइड किया होता है इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू हैंडल. लेकिन हमारे सोल को पता है कि हम में इतनी हिम्मत है कि हम ये हैंडल कर लेंगे.
Okay, thank you so much.
Within your soul, you are very strong and you know you can handle it. That is why you chose to go through this experience. So have faith in yourself.
Thank you so much.
And another thing I would like to tell you that people who pass away, they don't really go away. वो उनकी सिर्फ शरीर चला जाता है, वो आत्मा उनकी वहीं रहती है. यू नो, दे आर ऑलवेज देयर सपोर्टिंग अस, लविंग अस, यू नो, प्रोटेक्टिंग अस. तो सिर्फ शरीर जाता है, आत्मा नहीं जाती है. वो तो ऑफ कोर्स दे गो टू हेवन, बट दे कैन कम एंड सपोर्ट अस एनी टाइम.
ओके, और अगर हम उनको बार बार जैसे कि बोलते हैं याद करते हैं तो उनको हार्म होता, आपको याद नहीं करना चाहिए ऐसा
नहीं,
बोलते
ऐसा
हैं?
कुछ नहीं है. वो शुरू में होता है बिकॉज 12-15 दिन तक उनको यू नो उनको कुछ प्रोसेस है जो उनको करना पड़ता है, लेकिन उसके बाद तो दे आर ऑलवेज देयर. एक किताब है, इफ यू वांट टू रीड, इट्स कॉल्ड लॉज ऑफ द स्पिरिट वर्ल्ड by Khorshad Bhavnagri. If you read it, you will really understand how these contracts work.
Thank you so
Neelu,
much.
just Neelu, can you just make it clear that karma is never good or bad? These are just our life lessons. So don't label your karma as bad.
Yeah.
Okay, Nishya, you had a question.
Yeah, hi. My
Hi.
question is, hi. So my question is, if the other person does not honor their soul contract, would I have to take another birth?
No, if you are working out your contract and karma from your side, you are free of it. You just forgive them and you learn your lessons. Once you have learned your lessons, and if it is a karmic contract, you have forgiven them, then you're free from it. Then you don't have to get tied up with each other.
Let's say you have a soulmate that you're working towards or you're heading towards. Could you have a soul contract with them that until I learn these specific lessons, you come into my life?
Yes,
Like
yes,
you will,
because
I'll only allow you, or we should connect and really align in our lives when you've learned certain things and I've learned certain things.
yes,
Is that
yes,
how it works?
yes, yes, that is very much possible because if you want to live a beautiful, loving life with that soulmate and you attract them when you're not yet ready for them, when you still have to learn a certain lesson or they still have to learn a certain lesson, then even if you get together before time, it's not going to last. So, and soulmates often come to support each other, right, on earth. So, you might meet someone and they might be your friends, but you might not really decide to be with them. But after so many years of struggling and learning your lessons, and suddenly the universe is going to conspire and bring you guys together.
And are there ways to identify what beliefs or lessons that you need to acquire in order for you to connect with those soulmates faster?
Yes, yes, yes. The faster we learn our lessons, the faster we go to, peace and harmony. But you have to focus on the relationships that you are having at present, because they are going to tell you what is stopping you. Because those relationships are trying to teach you the lessons that are stopping you to get to that partner.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sultana, you had a question?
Hi, Neelu.
Hi.
I have a question. Basically, I just want to know how to identify whether this is a soul contract or a karmic contract. That's my first question. And the second question, if it's a karmic contract and if we have to heal something, how do we identify, how to heal a relationship or whatever, or how to learn the lessons?
Yes. So when you are in a karmic contract and you decide that now I want to get rid of this person from my life, it will just happen very easily. You can just get up and leave. But no matter when you're in a space where you're trying to leave and you're not, if it is a husband, you're trying to divorce him, but there are children in between, and there is custody issues, and there are he doesn't want to give you the divorce or whatever. It will just keep dragging and dragging and dragging.
Exactly.
And that is a very clear thing that this is a karmic contract. And if you have lived with this person, you know that how has this person made you feel, right?
Yes.
So you have to sit and write down all those feelings, and then what is the opposite of those feelings? That is the lesson. And things, where two people are stuck with each other is also when there is a lot of resentment. So in karmic contracts, resentment can actually keep you together for many lifetimes. So working out your resentment and dropping that resentment, doing a lot of forgiveness from the heart. And it's not an easy thing to do because there's so much anger, hatred, and all that. But you just start saying it. When you start saying it, you will start believing it slowly and gradually. Your mind will get used to it. It will start seeping in. And then you start loving yourself and say, I deserve better, And if it takes me to forgive this person, to free myself from it, then you do what is required to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Monisha this side.
Hi.
Just wanted to ask you two things. One is if you kind of, do away with the contract with your soul contract, you do away with your soul contract, can you revive a soul contract?
As in with the same person?
Uh-huh.
Yes, you can. But
Okay.
that is just not up to you because there are two people involved here, right?
Yes.
So you have to heal and you have to forgive. And if the other person heals and forgives as well, And if he also, because he's a co-creator of his life and you are a co-creator of your life, right? So you need both the people to wanting to work it out. When both the parties want to work it out, it is possible.
It is possible.
A lot of people have healed their relationships and started fresh and living a very nice, harmonious life. Yeah.
The second question is, this concept of the soulmates and the concept of a twin soulmate. So what exactly, how exactly do you know that it's a twin soulmate? Okay, that's actually irrelevant because you get that sense, you get that feeling that there's something that just fits in, right? But do these twin soulmates actually last? Or
Actually,
how is
to
it?
tell you the truth, I have no idea about twin soulmates. Really?
So
yeah, I can tell you soulmates.
So when we talk of soulmates, they say there are different types of soulmates. So there are different, or there are many soulmates we have. So what do we mean by that? What do we understand out of that?
People who actually come to support you, come to, they are the people whom you really feel good talking to. Where you feel understood, where you feel accepted the way you are, where you can just be you, and not where you're just relaxed. You don't have to keep working your mind to do something, be careful of what you're talking. So you can just relax and be yourself. Then you know that this is a soulmate. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You can have multiple soulmates at a point of time.
Yes, at a point of time, but also at different timelines in life. And even there's something like you have predestined ki, okay, by this time I'm going to learn this. Now I need this soulmate to come and teach me this. A lot of times soulmates also come into your life to push you towards a certain thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Thank you.
Hi, Nilu.
Hi.
Nilu, you mentioned that, in a relationship, whatever relationship, when it's long, you said the way to get rid of, you should write down your feelings and write the opposite of it to understand what is your learning, and then bring forgiveness in. I was wondering if you could expand a little on that.
If your feeling is that I'm feeling unworthy in a relationship, then the opposite of that is worthiness, right? And feeling worthy. So you have to just keep repeating, I'm worthy, I'm worthy. So whatever, yeah.
But a relationship could consist of huge many kinds of emotions, and lots of issues, and lots of be it with siblings, be it with your spouses, be it with parents, be it with anybody, right? And even with kids, or like whatever. And so then how do you do you see that there are soul contracts, now that I'm understanding more of this, with so many people, and then you write down your emotions with them, and then you start analyzing what is the opposite of that. But
and you
how do you
will see
how
that
how do you come to forgiveness from there, and how do you take this forward, to help yourself?
Forgiveness starts only after all your anger has been released. As long as you're angry, you can't forgive anyone. So sometimes you have to just lash out, and it's not possible to do it physically in reality. So you do it in your mind. Just recreate that whole scene where you're lashing out to them, and just express yourself. Just say everything you want to say, which you cannot do in reality. So keep doing this, and let's just start taking out all this frustration and anger and resentment that is stuck inside you. First of all, you just flush yourself clean, and then start working towards forgiveness, because forgiveness again is like a muscle that you have to build. It's not going to become overnight. But forgiveness is easy when you see it from an like higher self perspective. If you see it from within the drama that you're living, then it will not be easy to forgive. when you see it as a soul journey, that you have lived so many lives with so many different people and you don't remember them. So obviously people who are in your life right now, you're not going to remember them in your next life. But if there are really karmic toxic relationships that you want to get rid of, then, and you don't want to carry them with the next into the next life, then you have to it is a very soul thing, it's a soul realization that I want to be done with this, and whatever it takes, I'm ready for it. And it requires a lot of self love, and even forgiving others also requires self love, because when
Yeah.
you love yourself and you respect yourself and you stand for yourself and you choose the best for yourself, then you definitely
Mhm.
don't want to carry any crap in this life or any other life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Nilu, we have a question. What if there was an error in creating the original soul contract, that now we are having so much difficulty dealing with the same and want to cancel or accelerate it?
Yes, you can do it. See, if you are connected to the universe, or even if you're not, whatever you repeat comes into being. Whatever you're repeating, you're telling the universe, this is what I want. So you can just start repeating, I cancel my soul contract with this person. I forgive this person. I forgive myself. I cancel my soul contract with this person. So just keep repeating it every day, and you will see that you will start parting ways and it will get over. But when you're doing that, see to it that you also learn your lessons. Because if you cancel your contract with this person and you have not learned the lesson, then someone else will come and do the same thing or a similar thing and make you feel miserable again. So you have to be very aware of what your contract is. That is why I said earlier, the very first thing is understand the contract. That is the very first thing you need to do. And how do you understand the contract? By asking yourself a whole lot of questions. How am I feeling? And how do I want to feel? So are you feeling what you want to feel? If not, then that is your contract right there.
There's one more question, Nilu. What about a physically challenged dependent child?
Okay, that is a very, very karmic contract. And this is again another contract that cannot be broken. But you can heal yourself. When a child like that comes into your life, the child has actually come to you through compassion. Okay, because it's not at all easy to take a life like that, to live a life where you're physically challenged. It's not an easy life. So if the child has decided to do that, to work out a whole lot of karma, so obviously the soul who has come in the form of this child has come to work out a whole lot of karma. Maybe a karma that is going to take 3 to 4 lifetimes will be worked out in one life for him. And you have accepted this child at a higher level, where you were aware of what you were accepting. But a lot of, a lot of times, patience, compassion, these are the lessons that we learn. Equality. This child always comes to teach you compassion, equality, and forgiveness, all these virtues. So when you have a child like that, he's definitely come to teach you virtues. Because there's a lot of love, and a mother loves her child unconditionally, no matter how. So this person, the soul is trying to polish your virtues.
So is there a difference between virtues and lessons to be learned?
Well, virtues are also lessons, but they're different kinds, right? That is more of a spiritual thing. It's not a very like learning how to speak for yourself or learning all those things are different kinds of lessons. But virtues are very, very spiritual. When a soul is trying to evolve spiritually, that is a soul tries to learn virtues. That is a mark of a spiritual soul, whether they realize it or not in that lifetime, but it is a mark of a spiritual soul. Or a soul who has lived a life where a soul has really fallen or has grown in ego,
So Nilu, basically an old soul, like a master soul, will incarnate with these physically challenged like if a mother has 2 children and both of them are autistic, so this is basically a karmic connection, karmic contract. So only an old soul who has been through many lives can handle this kind of a lesson.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
A new soul will not be there. Old soul will come. It's like a
yes,
master soul, right? Yeah.
yes, yes. Because it is more of a spiritual thing, right? So only people who are almost there, but they need to just take that that
one last splurge. Yeah.
Yes. So they really choose this very difficult life.
Yeah, Navina, you had something?
So yes, I have Navina here. So I wanted to ask, like, karmic contracts are basically like contracts with a near and dear ones, right?
Not necessary. You can have a karmic contract with a business partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said we can soul contracts can be, cancelled after learning a lesson. So can karmic contracts too be cancelled by learning lessons?
Karmic contracts you can't get rid of them so easily, but it is possible. It depends on how soon you're able to learn your lesson and do that whole forgiveness. And soul contracts can be cancelled even before learning your lesson. So, yeah, because you can get out of an abusive relationship and work on yourself, to learn those lessons. And
but mainly lessons have to be learned before leaping on to the next contract. That's the best ideal way.
Yes, that is a better
Yeah.
thing.
Otherwise, we'll be attracting the same thing, as you said, the same experiences again and again.
Yes. The same feelings. The experiences might be different, but you're going to
the feelings
the same.
Sultana.
Hello,
Yeah,
Neelu.
Sorry.
Neelu, hi.
Hi.
I have a question. Sorry, because since I couldn't attend the beginning of the session, could you please just tell me in one sentence what soul contract? Okay, I got it. But karmic contract, just in one sentence, could you just tell me?
So, yeah, karmic contracts are contracts with people whom you have karmic debt with. Either you have to take something from them, or either you have done something to them in a past life where you have to repay, or you have done a lot and you have to get back. Right? So, yeah, karmic contracts are contracts where you have a karmic give and take.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Neelu, just a thing that when you mentioned about the physically challenged, child being with the mother, I was just thinking sometimes in our life we come across people who need a lot of help, like either mental issues, and it's nothing to do with your own family. It could be family, it could be people who walk into your life, and you're perpetually helping them out of that space that they are in. What could be the reason behind that?
Well, it could see that is again a contract, right? That person could have helped you in a past life, and you're just balancing that karma. Or there are people who are very spiritual, and they like to give a lot. So maybe you are operating from the space of compassion, or you have a contract where you have to give back what this person might have done for you. It could be either one of it. Like, see, like Mother Teresa did so much for everyone, but she wouldn't have had karmic contracts with everyone, right? So she did it from the space of compassion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I see that often in my cycle. I come across people and they're short. It's not something that's a very long association. I'll come across people, then that thing is done, and then things are fine, and then there'll be a next person in that entire. So it's just like a never-ending cycle.
Yeah. So it is definitely out of compassion that you're doing. If
You.
there's no attachment, then it is out of compassion.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Yes, Sultana.
Yeah, my question is again about a mother and a physically challenged child. See, if you said that it could be it is a karmic contract for a mother to have a physically challenged child, and the child it is not an easy soul journey. It's a very tough journey for the child to go through. And does it mean that if all the karma is finished off in this particular journey, and that is the end of the journey for this particular child, or suppose the child doesn't finish with the karma, will the journey still continue?
Yes, the journey will continue, but there are two type of souls that take a challenge life like that. One is a soul who is extremely spiritual, who's almost through and wants to take this birth and finish it off in one shot and ascend to a higher plane from where they don't have to return. Okay, and the other kind of soul is a soul who has done something very wrong and and wants to ascend very soon. That soul could have been a murderer or a criminal and has done a whole lot of bad things. Okay, but realizes that what have I done, and this has pushed me so down below, uh, into the really bad and dark realms. And when that soul has this feeling of regret, a feeling of repentance, then the soul is given a chance to speed up the evolution. And to speed up the evolution, they take, if they are like worthy of getting a human body, then they take a human body which is challenged. Or a lot of time, these souls generally take a body of animal that is used for farming, or all those things. A lot of labor oriented this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it could be both. It could be either a very evolved soul. You can know from the when you're interacting with the child, you will come to know whether it's an evolved soul or it's a soul who's repenting. It's karmas.
Okay. But is it our choice, like whether we want to continue this contract or not for the child and the mother? Can we choose?
You can, definitely. You can, any point of time, any contract, you can choose to cancel. What you do is when you cancel your contract, things just start getting easier and easier. When a mother cancels her contract with a child who is challenged, doesn't mean that the mother is going to abandon the child, right? But when you start canceling your contract, it's like, telling, okay, I want to feel better. So instead of going through all that pain to learn your lessons of compassion and love and selflessness and bringing the ego down and all, whatever the lessons are. So instead of going through so much of pain to learn it, then the universe starts giving that mother a lot of strength. And you will suddenly see a whole lot of positivity coming into that mother's life, a lot of support coming into that mother's life. The universe will start helping the mother, in many different ways.
Neelu?
Yes.
One question, one more, because what if happens a person lives as a normal human being for almost 20 years and suddenly he or she gets physically challenged, like gets in a wheelchair for rest of their life? What could be the reason for that?
That is also karmic. That is karmic. And a lot of times what happens is, if a soul is going on a wrong path, and if the people who love the soul from the other side decide that this person, if the way he's living his life, he might just ruin all, really, get into a lot of bad karma. And then to stop that soul from going, deteriorating and becoming a dark soul, they might even put the soul in a wheelchair. That is one thing that is possible. But otherwise also, it could be karmic. It could be karmic. And maybe the soul has decided to learn or, offload karma in that form. But it is the soul's decision when it is like because of karma. But if people from the other side are trying to help the soul to not go on the wrong path, then it could be a decision taken by a higher, spirit to help this soul.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Pooja has a question.
So Neelu, you mentioned that we pre-decide these before we even come to the earth, and we create these soul contracts. So we go through some. Sorry.
99% of the time, yes.
Okay. So we go through some experience and we don't really learn from it. We go through it again. But you keep creating these soul contracts then on earth because you've got to learn that experience.
Yes, yes. You will keep creating situations, the universe will keep creating situations where you will keep being forced to learn that lesson. And each time you fail it, each time the lesson is the whole whatever you're facing is going to become more and more difficult. Because ultimately it is for your good, right?
So then when you actually learn the lesson, you've got to go back and forgive everyone in the line.
It's better you start forgiving from now itself. But I feel you come to a point where there's so much self-love and so much self-acceptance and self-worth in you that it doesn't really matter. You look at those people and say, what are you doing with your life? You start feeling compassion. I'm working on that. I'm working on feeling compassion. But there are people who have reached that state where instead of feeling resentment and anger, they just feel compassion for them.
That's really beautiful. I have one more extreme question. Okay, I was just thinking about this, and so people, who go through extreme stuff like rapes and this murders and
That is the one point which I told you. 99% of the times it is predestined, but that 1%, right? Things can go wrong when you have not planned them.
And
a lot of times it can be karmic as well.
But there are no soul contracts like that where
They could be. It could be because could be that one person has killed another person, right? And in this life, that person comes to kill this person. It can be. It is possible.
Oh, really? So even these kind of hardcore criminal activities too could be a part of soul contract.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
If you know about Lord Krishna, he was killed by someone he killed in his previous life. That is that is how his life ended on earth. It was a karmic balance.
Wow.
Vivek has
Okay.
Thank
you.
Yeah, Vivek.
Hello, Neelu.
Hi,
We have a
Vivek.
soul contract and a soulmate. Very good. Thank you so much. So just two quick questions, Neelu. Very thin line between suppression and learning the lesson, right? Very subtle, and it gets. How do you come to know that you've really learned the lesson and versus you're just suppressing?
So when you're suppressing yourself, you're going to feel miserable from within. That means you haven't learned the lesson. Because the day you learn your lesson, you're not going to feel miserable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second thing is
your feeling is what is going to tell you where you stand.
Okay. And the second thing is, so when we created the soul contract, it was not in error, right? I mean, it is a lesson we have to learn. But you're saying now, you don't have to take the long path. You can accelerate it by becoming more aware and conscious and taking charge of it and learning it earlier than letting things play out.
Yes, yes. There are people who have learned all the lessons that they were supposed to learn in an entire lifetime. And then their higher selves are actually taking up more lessons to learn and finish in this lifetime.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I honestly think 2020 was a year which forced all of us to look inside and see how we can learn lessons faster. By, like being clustered with people around you. I think that 2020 is a bigger plan to move people faster on the spiritual path.
Yeah.
That's something I truly believe in.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
So thank you so much, everybody.
Neelu, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, everything that happens in our life has been, we have written a million contracts for ourselves before taking birth. Means if I, supposing like Raksha, the soul, the contract. So if I take a left turn, and what happens if I take the left turn, that is also in my contract. But supposing my free will, I don't take a left turn, but I take a right turn, and then I have to go through this whole big mega journey and have a long route instead of short route. So I mean that also has been choco blocked, written by me before taking birth. If I take a left turn, this is going to happen. If I take a right turn, this is going to happen. But again, when I take a human birth, I have free will to choose left or right.
Yes, so this is an excellent question. What happens is we have 4 to 5 multiple lives happening at the same time, right? We have not just 1 or 2. We have 4 to 5 different parallel lives happening at the same time. What we choose is what we will be, So we have to go from point A to point B in our life. Okay, we can either decide to take a cycle and kind of work hard and reach there, or you can take a car, or you can take a luxury car, or you can take a flight. The whole point is to reach from point A to point B. The whole point is to learn this lesson and be done with it. How you do it is how much charge you take of it. Yeah, we don't always have to suffer and learn. We have multiple choices, but how aware are we? How much charge do we take? How do we, think it, like how do we approach the whole situation? When we are aware of what lesson we are learning, when we are aware of why is this person treating me like this, and you take charge and put yourself on a path to learn it in a very speedy way, easy, effortless way. Like it's a very good thing to get up in the morning and tell the creator, make my life easy and effortless. This is like a mantra I learned from my sister, which I keep chanting, that my life is easy and effortless. And it kind of things just start working out. So your question is amazing, because yes, we have the freedom, our free will to change, we have kind of given ourselves a lot of choices when we've come. But most of the time we are not even aware of it, that we have a choice, because we are living the life. Life is like of happening to us. We are not making it happen to us. So when we switch from life happening to us to we make life happen for us, that decides where and how you experience life.
So like we are, like how you say, we are the co-creators, like we are the producers and directors of our own life. So we can always rewind and edit and play again.
Yes. Or just keep skipping to a different vibration. Yeah. If we are operating from a vibration, oh my God, I'm a victim, then that person is going to be a cycle person, he's going to just sweat his way out. As long as we keep looking at ourselves as a victim, we are going to take the long route to point B. The day we realize that I am not a victim and I can be an empowered person and make my own decisions, then life gets easier and relationships get easier. See, everybody is a divine
I've learned
being.
a lot from you, Needu. I've learned so much from you about these life lessons. I remember when you talk, I go back to those days when we discuss all these things. It's all in our hand. We want to be a victim or we want to rise above,
Yes, we've all gone through it, right? So thank you so much.
Yes, that's how we learn.
Now we are, as many healers I have noticed, okay, what kind of a contract do we come? Most of the healers I've seen who eventually get evolved in everything and realize are not able to fit into many family life. And I've seen them mostly living single, separate. They are like more connected to creator. They are co-creators, everything they are. But what is it that they're not fitting into family lives and, these kind of a thing? What the contract they come with? And what is it like, in spite of, handling the situation, but still they don't fit in and they want to just move away.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly?
See, these are, again, contracts that we have with these family members who know that we come from the space of compassion, So, so our compassion is going to help the people in our family evolve faster and show them the way and everything. And as you said, healers actually come with very difficult lessons. Like, for example, a lot of healers, if you see, they've gone through rapes and abuse of all kinds, because it teaches them compassion. It teaches them how it feels. When someone comes to them who has gone through the same thing, it is very easy for them to relate to the whole thing. I think that our family is actually teaching us to be in the world and of the world, and we are teaching them to evolve. So if you're talking about us, our contracts with the family, a husband could be extremely worldly, who's good at surviving. A wife could be very like a healer, right? See, always the contract works two sides. Like most of the times, the contract is two ways. So maybe and if you, this is a vision I had got once, that the earth is like, has a grid around it, and healers are placed in a very, in a proper pattern around it. So they are able to hold the energy of earth in a certain way, to a certain level. So obviously, if you see that, in an, like, wherever we are, whatever we are doing, we may not like want to be around like extended families, or there are a lot of toxic people around us. Is that what you're talking about? Our
Neelu, you were talking about virtues that we learn once we, grow vibrationally, energetically. There are better lessons to learn, which you call virtues. Can you name some of those virtues? I'm very curious to know what they are.
So virtues are like compassion, being non-judgmental, and just being more accepting, and things like that, loving unconditionally, accepting people the way they are, and all these higher values in life.
Wow. Okay. So nothing's wrong with me. Did you just get into my headspace and read out all this aloud? I'm going through that phase right now.
Okay.
Sometimes it seems like a huge juggle, because you want to learn everything at once, and then you are confounded with so many things, and then you're so aware of what you need to learn.
That's a beautiful phase that you're going through. It shows that you're a very evolved soul.
Oh, thank you. Unlike others, thank God for saying that. Thank you for saying that. My mom thinks I'm
the most difficult one. Yeah.
Yes.
To which forgiveness is perhaps the first step.
Yes, forgiveness is, yes.
Yeah, I think as she said, as Neelu mentioned before, forgiveness, removing the anger and the frustration, irritation that we have, that's the first step. Then you move to forgiveness, and then you move to unconditional love.
Also, you become very detached from the drama that is happening in your life, It stops having that impact on you. Like if someone, there's a time when someone comes in, just gives you a gali, or, a bad mouth you, there would be so much anger and rage in you, or resentment. But after a while, when you become detached, no matter how much that person does, it has no impact on you. So that detachment is also a great virtue, just not getting sucked into the drama of other people, or even your own life, just say, okay, I'm done, but when a lot of times when people say I'm done, they become rigid. That is not a good thing. We need to stay in the space of compassion.
Yeah, I'll get that bus someday. Thank you so much, Neelu.
Most welcome.
Okay, cool. So we'll wrap up the session. It's more than 11 now. So for anybody who's interested, we are having a paid workshop on 25th Jan. That will be 8:30 to 10:30, followed by a session on 1st February, which will be more about question and answers and practice on soul contracts. So what Neelu will teach in that workshop is how to read soul contracts and how to, like she spoke about today, how to update, cancel, resolve those workshops. So whoever is interested, please contact us and we'll take it forward. And anything other than that, we're now planning a series of workshops through Heal Clinic on different topics. So do keep in touch. I mean, you could follow us on our social media, or you could be on WhatsApp, and we'll send you the details. Yeah, and thank you everyone for being here.